I'm Ted Shaw from the Windsor Star. I'm here at the Windsor Star News Cafe, and today we have Vincent Georgie, who is the director of the MBA program at the University of Windsor, marketing professor, and he's also our resident Oscar expert. And this year again, as in previous years, he's going to head to Hollywood later this week to cover the Oscars, which occur on Sunday, I believe.
On Sunday, yes.
And he's going to be blogging for the Windsor Star throughout that entire period. So we're going to ask him for some input on this year's Oscars and give us a preview of what he'll be talking about. Now, can you just maybe give us an idea of what you have planned?
Sure. So in terms of coverage, I will be blogging as I was last year, which was a lot of fun. And that will start on Wednesday night. And that will go through right till Monday. And then we've got some video logs happening as well throughout, so those will be happening every day. And then reporting back on all the events that we're attending and the people we see and the things we hear and all the good stuff in and around the Academy Awards.
It's not just the Academy Awards that you provide some input in. Tell me a little bit about what you're going to be doing outside of the actual awards.
So one thing that's a mystery to some people is that there's actually so many events that go on really outside the Oscars, because the Oscars are like the Olympics of the film industry. So everybody is really in LA for this week, essentially. So there'll be the Independent Spirit Awards, which are going on Saturday. They celebrate independent films, so films made for $20 million and under. And they're really, really fantastic films, great nominees. I vote on those. I started to cast my ballot. And I also consult with that group, which is great. And a lot of films that we've shown at WIF this year and films we'll show next year are nominated, so that's always a good thing. I like to see that. So there's that. There's also a lot of special events in and around the Academy. One is, this is the first time they're doing it this year, for all of the music nominees. There's a concert being put on by all the Best Original Song and Best Original Score nominees. So there'll be a concert with U2, there'll be a concert with John Williams, with Thomas Newman, with the Yeah Yeah Yeahs. I think that's going to be really, really fantastic. Really looking forward to that. There's also a private event for the nominees in the Best Foreign Language Film category. So all the filmmakers that and their casts that have been nominated do a special symposium with that division of the Academy. So that's an event I've gone to every year that I like very much. It's a great event. There's also another event with all of the hair and makeup nominees, which is really fun. A few years back, the nominees from Harry Potter were there, and it was great being able to touch the appliances and prosthetics and have them walk me through what they were doing. So this year I'm looking forward to that event as well. And again, lots of parties, lots of gatherings, these types of things. Chateau Marmont there's always something happening there to pop in and see. Events at LACMA as well, the Los Angeles County Museum. Again, there's in any given day you could be going to a dozen events. It's really, really, really quite brisk. So it's a matter of choosing, because many of them actually can be concurrent. So it's pretty exciting times, because this is the summit of the film industry.
Now, you made reference to WIF. I failed to introduce you as the executive director of Windsor International Film Festival. You're also bringing a couple of young marketing students with you, and they're also involved in WIF, are they not?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm bringing Michael Ruffalo with me, who has now graduated from Odette. He came with me last year as a student, and he's now the marketing manager for the Windsor International Film Festival, so he's coming again, so that's great. And my commitment to Odette has been that I will bring an Odette student every year with me. That's something that no other university can do, and I feel passionate about that. So this year I'm bringing Ryan Donnelly. He is the MBA Society president. He's doing a fantastic job at that. And the community knows Ryan very well, actually, because he's the former captain of the Windsor Spitfires.
Oh, right. That's right.
So it'll be interesting in seeing his take on things, because sports and film still end up being entertainment.
Right.
I think his angle and contribution will be great, and I think he'll learn a lot. He's definitely excited to come, and I'm excited to bring him.
Have a jock perspective on the Oscars.
Exactly.
Now, a couple of questions arise from what you just said. One was, what is do Canadians have a stake in the foreign film and also in the Spirit Awards this year?
Yeah, in the Best Foreign Film category, we don't have a stake. We've had a stake the past 3 years, and this year, I think to everybody's surprise, our submission, Gabrielle, which is Swift's opening night film, was not retained amongst the top 9. So that was a bit of a surprise. So we don't have a stake in that category, but we are nominated elsewhere. We're nominated in the original score category for her. That's a really, really good thing. And also director Jean-Marc Vallée, who directed Dallas Buyers Club, that's going to do quite well actually at the Oscars. He goes under a pseudonym and edits his own films. So Dallas Buyers Club is nominated for editing, so if it ever wins, he would go up and get the trophy. So it's nice to see some Canadians recognized there. At the Spirit Awards, there aren't Canadians nominated there, which is a little bit of a surprise. We expected both at the Spirit Awards and at the Academy Awards for Sarah Polley's documentary Stories We Tell to get in. And it was a very big surprise that it wasn't recognized.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Well, there's always next year.
There is, absolutely.
Now, down to brass tacks here. Tell me about your choices. Now, starting with the big one, the Best Picture. Which film do you think will win of the 9?
What I think will win in the absolute closest race to Best Picture that I've ever seen, it'll be Gravity above 12 Years a Slave by a hair. It will be, no matter what the other awards are of the night, it won't be indicative enough to actually tell us Best Picture. Everyone's going to have to hold their breath. But from what I hear, just by hair, it's Gravity.
And you think Gravity will also be a multiple winner?
Yes, I do. I think Gravity will do extremely well in the effects categories, the sound category, cinematography, editing easily. I also think Alfonso Cuarón will win Best Director for. He's a fantastic director. I think that's quite assured. So Gravity could be winning 7 or 8 of its 10 nominations. So it'll have a good night no matter what.
Now that movie was Sandra Bullock's movie. She is nominated for Best Actress, but you don't think she has a chance to win?
I do not think Sandra Bullock has a chance at all of winning. It's not going to happen. Best Actress is pretty clear-cut going to be Cate Blanchett for Woody Allen's film Blue Jasmine.
Okay.
She's been the front runner since that film came out, and it really hasn't changed. There was never a direct competitor that sort of went beyond her. And also Sandra Bullock won a few years back for The Blind Side. There's no need to acknowledge her. One of the few categories Gravity will lose will be Best Actress.
What about Best Actor?
Best Actor, it'll be Matthew McConaughey for Dallas Buyers Club. I think that's a fairly safe bet. People have a lot of affection for him. He's out campaigning, he's visible, he's worked with a lot of people, which also helps as well. The other advantage he has too right now, he's had a real career renaissance the past 2 years. It's not that he went away, it's just he's choosing much different roles with films like Mud and Killer Joe and Magic Mike, so he's showing different sides of himself. But also he right now has True Detective playing on HBO at the same time that people are voting. So they see how good he really is.
It's a bit of a departure for him in terms of his role as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is a departure for him.
Kind of like, I think, Tom Hanks when he did Philadelphia.
Yes.
And it's a similar kind of... it surprised a lot of people that he had that range.
Yes, it really, and it showcases him in a really good way.
Yeah.
Best Actor, I mean, the nominees themselves are phenomenal. I mean, to think that someone like Christian Bale has no shot of winning at all. He's not in that race at all. The other 4 men are. I think Matthew McConaughey's biggest competitor, though, and he could take it, is Leonardo DiCaprio for The Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay.
I think if voters want to support that film, they'll support it in Best Actor. DiCaprio has never won before, and he is out there. That being said, I do still think it'll be McConaughey.
You don't think Wolf of Wall Street has a chance of winning picture?
No, I don't, because it's too divisive. Voters, for Best Picture, you vote on a preferential ballot, so you rank them, whereas the other categories, it's just your choice.
Right.
Wolf of Wall Street, for the people that love it, will rank it number 1, but it's a minority of people. No film has divided voters more than that film. Yeah, and I think the hate-its, even though I loved it, I think the hate-its outweigh the loves it.
Scorsese is such a favorite in Hollywood, though. It's surprising.
He is. Scorsese's very, very well admired. He's nominated, and there's interest in the film. And Jonah Hill got a surprise nomination, but Scorsese can't win for this. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. What about the best acting roles? Who do you think is going to take
in the supporting categories, I think best supporting actor is an easy win for Jared Leto for Dallas Buyers Club. I think that's definitely going to be happening.
Okay.
People have a lot of respect for that performance, and the thing that's interesting is that Jared Leto is someone that's not really part of the core community. He doesn't make many films. He does more music, so it's sort of like someone that's been on the inside before that's sort of coming back. People really respect the performance, and again, there hasn't been that obvious second choice. Some would argue it's perhaps Michael Fassbender for 12 Years a Slave, but Michael Fassbender has really not been around. He hasn't campaigned. And I mean, when people are voting, it's not just about a campaign, it's also about, did I like the film, did I like the performance, and he's great.
Right.
But he's just not been visible at all. I think that's going to hurt him a little bit. So Jared Leto, I think, is a safe bet. In supporting actors, it's another really tight race between Jennifer Lawrence for American Hustle. Now, Jennifer Lawrence won last year for Silver Linings Playbook. And then Lupita Nyong'o, her first film for 12 Years a Slave. And that race has gone back and forth and back and forth, and from what I'm hearing, by a hair, it'll actually be Lupita Nyong'o. And I think really because the deciding factor being Jennifer Lawrence won last year.
Okay.
To have her win 2 years in a row, she turns into a Tom Hanks or Spencer Tracy. Do people really want to do that?
Well, Vincent, thank you. Gives us some interesting things to think about, and we're certainly looking forward to your blogs. Now, the blogs start when?
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Well, tune in and keep reading the Windsor Star. Thanks, Vincent, for coming along today.
Thanks, Ted.
Thank you.